is one of the reasons it's tough to trade him, because I'm sure that any team that wants him is going to want the Yankees to assume the $18 million if you kick in the $140. The Yankees certainly don't want to do that. They probably eat part of the 18, and they could spend the part that they don't eat on a player that they think could play third or second. It's a very complicated situation for both the Yankees and Stroman.
Yeah, it's not easy. You know, you hear all the time that you can never have enough pitching, and you need all that depth in the rotation because injuries are going to happen. But this is a little different situation when you have a very prideful veteran pitcher who wants to get his contract kicked in for the following year. And a lot of times a front office, the Yankees in this situation, would go to somebody like Marcus Stroman and say, listen, we understand the situation. We're going to see if there's any interest out there, if we can maybe make a move that would help you get to where you need to be to prolong your career. We just don't know how this is all going to play out. But eventually, you know, Marcus had a good first half, struggled coming down the stretch, and there's value out there for him right now. We'll just see if the Yankees can get some sort of a deal done, or you go to spring training and you say, let's see if everybody can stay healthy.
And what further complicates trading him is there's still pitchers that are out there on the free agent market. So until those pitchers actually are signed, and there's some teams that are left standing that need a pitcher, there's no market yet for the Yankees to trade Marcus Stroman. Again, very, very complicated. I'm intrigued to see how it turns out, and you keep hearing the rumors they can't make any other move until they get rid of some of Marcus Stroman's contract. So if that's true, there's a lot of pressure on the Yankees, and you know, Marcus Stroman is sitting back going, well, what about my career? That's important as well. But he didn't get into one game in the postseason. One series he wasn't even activated. Right. He wasn't on the 26, so that tells you his standing. But as John said, last year in spring training, Garrett Cole went down. So if you're the sixth pitcher, you could end up being a starter when the season starts.
One word stood out to you, but a variety of ranging topics about it. Defense was the word.
You know, I think he was spot on. I think the Yankee defense was problematic, and he kept bringing up the fact that, you know, the defense and the clean baseball deserted them in the World Series. And then you look at the breakdown of the Yankees and the Dodgers. So many people tell the Dodgers ran away because it was in 5 games. Everything was even. It really was. Game 1 was winnable. They bring in Nestor Cortez. He gives up the home run. Game 5 was certainly winnable. The 3 errors they made in that 5th inning, those all cost them. I mean, I'm still content to this day. If that series shifted to Game 6 in L.A., it could have been a completely different result. And I thought he had a great line. He said, they're not a better team, but they played better than us. And I think that's the way they look at it. And they did tighten up their defense a lot.
Yeah, I found it telling that Hal mentioned defense probably 5 or 6 times, multiple times during that interview with Meredith. And, you know, you can say the World Series, the Yankees struggled defensively. But I think during the year, it was always there. They just hit enough home runs to cover it up, but it was exposed on the biggest stage. The other thing that I think I liked about what Hal was saying about bringing in veteran leaders like Bellinger and Goldschmidt and keep developing that young talent. So you have your core of your veterans, you have the young players coming through the system, the veteran guys showing what it takes to be a major league player. That's the ultimate formula to have success and keep developing young players, as long as you have your veterans who can stay healthy.
You know, just back to the point of how they played against the Dodgers, they only lost by a run over the 5-game series, 25-24. As a player, and he said they're going to play with a chip on their shoulder, would it gnaw at you knowing that we left our best game? We didn't bring our best game. They played their best game, and we know we can beat them. We just didn't do it.
What bothers you is you didn't put your best foot forward. You didn't play your best game, and that's what Hal was saying. You know, if you went out there and you played clean baseball and played to your expectations and you got beat, you can go home and say, we got beat by the better team. But I think the Yankees, when they went home after the World Series, saying, we gave the Dodgers a lot of extra outs, a lot of extra opportunities. When you do that to a good team, it is going to be tough to win a 7-game series.
And also what had to gnaw at the organization was the Dodgers kind of like rubbed it in afterward. You know, we knew that if we put pressure on them, they'd make mistakes. And the Yankees addressed it. I give them credit. You know, moving Judge from center field to right makes right field better. Bellinger's an outstanding center fielder. Obviously, question marks, which we addressed earlier about Dominguez. I think their defense will be better. Goldschmidt, I think, at this point, is a better defender than Anthony Rizzo was. Anthony Rizzo has struggled for the last 2 years as a Yankee. I think Goldschmidt picks it up there, and Wells showed that he could do a good job behind the plate. So they have addressed it. Obviously, they have to play a cleaner brand of baseball, which I think they'll try to address in spring training. But the fact that the Dodgers had to rub it in, which I don't understand why they did, selling the Game 5 ball that Judge dropped, that made no sense to me. And everybody's so concerned about the Dodgers' $380 million payroll. And baseball, I guess, will look into it. But the bottom line is the Yankees don't have to worry about the Dodgers. Yankees have to worry about the rest of the teams in the American League. And I believe that the Yankees are the best team in the American League. All they have to do is get back to the World Series. Whatever team comes out of the National League, the Dodgers, the Giants, the Diamondbacks, the Padres, the Mets, the Phillies, the Braves, all you have to do is beat them in a 7-game series. And that's the way they have to look at it.
Also heard in that interview, certainly a vote of confidence for Aaron Boone, saying that managerial extension talks probably would happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah, no surprise there, right? The option was picked up, but the organization, we know how they feel about Aaron Boone and the job that he does, not only during the game, but in the clubhouse with the players, dealing with the media. I mean, it's no surprise that at some point there are going to be some conversations moving forward to bring him back on a multi-year deal. I'm sure Aaron Boone thinking the same thing as we're talking about the club going home after the World Series. What could he have done better to be a World Series champion? He's going to get another shot next year and beyond if they get something.
And
like
another thing that Hal kept bringing up, a lot of the moves, including bringing in Bellinger and last year bringing in Verdugo, really was pushed by Aaron Judge. And Aaron Judge does have a conversation all the time with Hal Steinbrenner. His voice means a lot in that organization, and Aaron Judge adores Aaron Boone. So I think that plays a role as well. And the fact, you know, Yankee fans might complain, well, they haven't won a World Series, and that's fair because that's always sold to the fan base. But the bottom line is they are always competitive. They missed the playoffs once, but for the most part, he's won an awful lot of games in his time as Yankee manager.